The High Five Habit by Mel Robbins. Picture this. You're standing in your bathroom one morning, fresh out of bed. You catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror, and before you can even process it, negativity crashes over you like a wave. Ugh. Maybe it's the dark circles shadowing your eyes, your messy hair, or a million other tiny imperfections your mind zeroes in on. Then the mental avalanche starts. Today's deadlines, the overflowing inbox, family drama, worries about tomorrow. You're already exhausted, and you haven't even had your coffee yet. Sound familiar? For most of us, this quiet stream of self-criticism is the soundtrack of our lives. We're incredibly harsh judges of ourselves, nitpicking in ways we'd never dream of doing to a friend. We'll scream ourselves hoarse cheering for our sports teams, celebrate our friends, wins like they're our own, and encourage complete strangers, yet when it comes to ourselves, we hold back that same kindness, that same fierce support. But what if I told you there's an absurdly simple way to change all that? A habit so quick it takes less than 5 seconds, yet powerful enough to transform the most crucial relationship you'll ever have, the one with yourself? That's what the High Five Habit by Mel Robbins is all about. Mel, who's already reached millions with her international bestseller The 5-Second Rule, stumbled onto this habit during one of those brutal ugh moments in her own bathroom. What began as a spontaneous, almost unconscious gesture, raising her hand to high-five her own reflection, sparked a personal revolution and ignited a worldwide movement. This isn't another collection of positive affirmations you won't really believe. Mel digs into the actual science behind why this simple action works, exploring neuroscience, psychology, and real-world results. She gets deeply personal, too, sharing not just her victories but her struggles, crippling anxiety, crushing self-doubt, failures, and fears, making her insights feel genuine and trustworthy. The High Five Habit has connected with millions because it addresses something we all desperately need: to feel seen, supported, and celebrated, especially by ourselves. So settle in. By the time we're done today, you'll understand the surprising power hidden in a simple high five to yourself. You'll discover how to reprogram that critical voice in your head, build authentic self-love and confidence from the inside out, and learn practical tools to handle life's inevitable curveballs, jealousy, guilt, fear, setbacks, with fresh resilience and optimism. This goes beyond just feeling good. It's about taking control of your life, one simple habit at a time. Ready to learn how to become your own biggest cheerleader? Let's dive in. It started like many profound discoveries do. In a moment of quiet desperation, Mel Robbins found herself standing in her bathroom, carrying the weight of the world. Deadlines were piling up, family responsibilities felt crushing, and the reflection staring back at her looked tired and worn down. The usual barrage of self-criticism kicked in, nitpicking her appearance, beating herself up over perceived shortcomings. It was a familiar pattern, one that left her feeling overwhelmed and utterly alone. She needed a pep talk, some kind of reassurance that she could handle everything. But even as a world-renowned motivational speaker, the right words wouldn't come. Then something unexpected happened. Almost instinctively, she lifted her hand, not in defeat, but in a gesture of acknowledgement toward her reflection. It morphed mid-air into a high five, meeting its mirror image on the cool glass. In that silent gesture, something shifted. A simple high five, often dismissed as maybe even a little cheesy, became a profound act of self-support. It was as if she was telling herself, "I see you, I love you, you've got this." Immediately, the tension in her chest eased, her shoulders squared, and a small smile cracked through the overwhelm. She didn't feel quite so alone anymore. She had herself. The next morning, those same feelings of overwhelm returned, But something was different. As she stood before the mirror, she found herself repeating the gesture, high-fiving her reflection again. By the third morning, she realized she was actually looking forward to it, like meeting a trusted friend. This small, seemingly insignificant action was creating a noticeable shift in her state of mind. This personal experience sparked Mel's curiosity. Why did this simple gesture feel so powerful? She started thinking about all the times she'd given or received high fives, celebrating a teammate's success in sports, cheering on friends running a race, the electric energy of a stadium when the home team scores, acknowledging a friend's personal victory. She recalled running the New York City Marathon just months after 9/11. The city was wounded but resilient, and the sidewalks were packed with spectators offering endless encouragement. Mel admits she hadn't trained properly and wasn't naturally athletic. There were countless moments during those 26.2 miles when her body screamed at her to quit, when doubt overwhelmed her. What kept her going? The relentless stream of high fives and cheers from strangers lining the route. Each slap of a hand wasn't just contact, it was a transfer of energy, of belief. It said, "I believe in you," which in turn helped her believe in herself, step by painful step, until she crossed that finish line. This led Mel to a crucial insight. If the encouragement and celebration from a stranger's high five could be so incredibly motivating, what if we could tap into that same energy for ourselves every single day? Life, like a marathon, is long, challenging, rewarding, and sometimes painful. We readily cheer for others, our teams, our favorite artists, our friends, our children. We celebrate their milestones and encourage their dreams. But how often do we do that for ourselves? The answer, Mel realized, is almost never. Instead, we often do the opposite. We criticize, diminish, and doubt ourselves. We've all heard the saying, "Put the oxygen mask on yourself first," but how do we actually do that in daily life? The high five in the mirror offered a clue. To put yourself first, you need to cheer yourself into that position, just as you cheer everyone else into theirs. Self-worth, self-esteem, self-love, they aren't things you wait to receive from the outside. They're attributes you must build within yourself. The high five habit, starting with that daily mirror high five, is the simplest way to begin. When Mel first shared a simple, uncaptioned photo of herself high-fiving her mirror on social media, she was stunned by the response. Within hours, people from all walks of life, all around the globe, started posting their own mirror high-five photos. Men, women, children, grandparents. A spontaneous movement began. One particularly powerful image came from a woman in a domestic violence shelter, a poignant reminder that even in the darkest circumstances you still have yourself, and that acknowledgement costs nothing but offers priceless validation. This viral response confirmed Mel wasn't alone in needing this simple act of self-recognition. It prompted her to dig deeper into the science. Why is this so potent? First, she discovered through conversations and her own experience that it's nearly impossible to hold a negative thought about yourself while genuinely high-fiving your reflection. Try it. As you raise your hand in that universal gesture of celebration, your mind simply cannot simultaneously entertain thoughts like, "I look terrible," or "I'm a failure." Your lifetime of positive associations with the high five, celebrating success, offering encouragement, expressing belief, instantly overrides the inner critic. Your subconscious mind flips into a positive mode. Second, the act itself snaps you into the present moment. You can't give a proper high five while mentally running through your to-do list or worrying about the future. It requires focus, intention. That habit of morning worry gets interrupted, replaced by a moment of self-validation. I see you. I believe in you. I'm here with you. This moment of intentional reflection is more powerful than it seems. Research from institutions like Harvard Business School shows that taking even brief moments to reflect improves performance, motivation, and effectiveness. The high five habit provides this structured moment, shifting your focus from the external demands of the day back to yourself. How do you want to show up? Who do you want to be? The motivational power of the high five is backed by compelling research. One study with school-aged children completing difficult tasks found that a simple high five was a more effective motivator than praising their innate traits, "You're so smart," or even their effort, "You're working hard." Why? Researchers concluded that praise for traits can create pressure, and praise for effort, while good, is still somewhat passive. A high five, however, is a shared celebration. It's active, energetic, and communicates genuine pride and encouragement. It affirms the person as a person, not just their skills or results. It says, "I'm celebrating with you," transferring energy and belief. When you give that high five to yourself, you tap into that same powerful affirmation. Unlike repeating mantras like, "I love myself," which the mind can reject if you don't truly believe them, the high five bypasses that skepticism because of its deeply ingrained positive association. It's a physical act that proves to your brain, "I'm the kind of person who cheers for myself." As one person shared, actions speak louder than words. Furthermore, research on NBA teams revealed a fascinating correlation. Teams that exchanged more high fives and other encouraging touches at the beginning of the season tended to have better records and performed better cooperatively at the end. The physical contact built trust, communicated support, "I've got your back," boosted confidence, and fostered a belief in collective success. Conversely, the worst-performing teams showed significantly less physical encouragement. This highlights how essential encouragement and trust are for high performance, whether on a court or navigating your own life. The high five habit helps you build that trusting, supportive partnership with yourself. This need for feeling seen, supported, and psychologically safe isn't just for sports. It's crucial in the workplace, too. Google's Project Aristotle study found that the highest performing teams were those where members felt safe, heard, and trusted. Feeling appreciated is fundamental to job satisfaction. Doesn't it make sense, then, to start your day by appreciating yourself? But Mel wanted to understand how this habit could create lasting change, potentially altering the brain itself. This led her to the concept of neurobics, pioneered by neurobiologist Dr. Lawrence Katz. Neurobic exercises pair a routine activity, like looking in the mirror, with something unexpected, involving the senses, high-fiving the mirror, and an emotion you want to cultivate, celebration. This combination makes the brain pay closer attention, creating a fertile environment for learning new habits and forging new neural pathways. Think of it like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand. It forces your brain out of autopilot and makes it focus. Similarly, high-fiving your reflection is unusual. Your brain takes notice. Because of the lifelong positive associations with high fives, your brain starts to link that positivity, celebration, belief, support, directly with the image of yourself. Over time, this repeated action can literally rewire your default pattern from self-criticism to self-acceptance, reprogramming your subconscious mind. Mel saw a parallel in her son Oakley's experience at a school specializing in learning differences like dyslexia. The school used neurobic interventions, like having students touch lights on a board using the opposite hand, left hand for right side, right hand for left side, to stimulate new neural pathway development and connect the brain's hemispheres. The high five habit works similarly, combining an unusual physical action with a deeply embedded positive association to forge new, more supportive mental connections regarding yourself. Confirmation came from neuroscientist Dr. Judy Willis, who agreed that this simple practice could indeed create new, more positive automatic beliefs and neural pathways. This is crucial because, as Mel emphasizes, whatever you think repeatedly becomes your subconscious default. For many, that default is negative. I'm not good enough. I always mess up. I'm ugly. The high five habit offers a practical way to reprogram that default towards self-kindness. And kindness, it turns out, is key. Research suggests that self-acceptance and being kind to yourself are the single most important predictors of happiness and life satisfaction, more impactful than exercise, trying new things, or even kindness to others. Yet, it's often the habit we practice the least. We might push ourselves to adopt healthy habits, but beat ourselves up mentally the entire time, undermining our efforts. Why are we so hard on ourselves? Often, it's learned behavior. We may have grown up with parents who were critical of themselves or practiced tough love. These patterns get absorbed unconsciously, but Mel stresses that being tough on yourself is counterproductive. It doesn't motivate, it shuts you down. True change comes from practicing acts of kindness towards yourself daily. This isn't about forced positive thinking, which often fails because problems are real. You can't just tell yourself a horrible situation is awesome. That's toxic positivity. Life throws real challenges at us. Trauma, inequality, loss, illness. The high five habit doesn't erase these difficulties. It changes you, making you better equipped to face them. It helps you cultivate the resilience, love, and support you need from yourself. As Jen undergoing chemo shared, giving herself a high five helped her maintain the positive attitude crucial for her battle, becoming her own cheerleader. You can't change the past, but you always have the power to choose what happens next. So how do you actually practice the high five habit? It's simple. Every morning, before engaging with the outside world, especially your phone, stand before your mirror. Take a moment not just to see your appearance, but to connect with the person inside. Then, raise your hand and high-five your reflection. Notice the mental quiet, the potential energy boost, the feeling of, I got this. It's a silent affirmation. I love you. I see you. I believe in you. Don't rush it. Savor this moment for yourself. Doing it first thing in the morning is strategic. Your morning mood significantly impacts your productivity and outlook for the entire day. Starting with this positive act sets a constructive tone. People report feeling weirdly motivated or experiencing an infectious energy that lasts. It also teaches you to prioritize yourself from the moment you wake up, countering the tendency to immediately focus on others' needs. You don't have to physically smudge the mirror if you don't want to. The intention matters more than the exact execution. The bathroom mirror works well because it's usually a private space and integrates easily into existing routines like brushing teeth, a concept called habit stacking. But simply high-fiving the air doesn't work. The mirror is key because you are fusing that positive high-five association directly with your own reflection, building that crucial self-partnership. It's called a habit because repetition is necessary to make it second nature. You can't wait until you feel worthy of celebration. You build worthiness through the habit of celebrating yourself. It works for everyone, but consistency is crucial. Don't dismiss it after 2 days. Give it time to rewire those patterns. As Lisa shared, even her 9-year-old daughter felt the positive impact immediately. This isn't about replacing high fives for others. You likely do that already. This is about shifting focus from seeking external validation, likes, praise, approval, to generating that validation internally. A million social media likes mean little if you don't like yourself. It's normal if the act brings up unexpected emotions. Some people cry, feeling a soul-deep recognition they've long craved. Others might feel initial exhaustion followed by release and energy. Some feel giddy or even blush. Allow whatever feelings arise. The simplicity is its strength. Because it's easy, you're more likely to do it consistently, and that consistency builds confidence. This isn't about trusting Mel Robbins. It's about learning to trust yourself. During tough times, like facing illness or setbacks, the high five doesn't solve the problem, but it provides crucial self-encouragement and support, reminding you of your strength and resilience. As Lauren, a single mom who faced immense loss, found, the high five became a daily reminder of her worthiness and strength, inspiring her daughters too. What if you don't feel like doing it? Do it anyway. Feelings follow actions. Pushing through resistance is how you build the life you want. Sometimes resistance comes from deeper beliefs, like Paula's painful admission of resenting self-love in others because she felt unworthy herself, trapped by the fear of failure. The high five is the first step in breaking these limiting patterns. You don't need to wait for a big win to celebrate. Encouraging yourself along the way, through wins and failures, builds confidence faster than any external achievement. Even if your self-esteem feels low right now, especially then, you need and deserve this act of self-support. Perceived failures are just lessons, forging resilience and wisdom. To help make it stick, Mel created the High Five Challenge. Commit to high-fiving your mirror for just 5 days. By signing up for free at highfivechallenge.com, you join a global community, doing it together, receiving daily video pep talks from Mel, and mutual support. This community aspect leverages the power of social support in building new habits. Even after just 5 days, people report feeling a significant shift, feeling healing and transformation begin. The Mirror High Five is just the start. The book explores many other ways to integrate this supportive, celebratory attitude into your life. It's about fundamentally changing your relationship with yourself, replacing self-criticism with self-acceptance, which ripples out to improve every aspect of your life. But why is it often so hard? Why do we default to self-criticism? Mel shares a poignant text from one of her daughters. How do I not feel like the ugliest girl at the bar every time I go out? It breaks a parent's heart because no amount of external reassurance, listing achievements, praising character, offering compliments, can override someone's internal belief about themselves if it's negative. Our brains often reject external validation that contradicts our deeply held self-perception. What we tell ourselves repeatedly becomes our reality. If you believe there's something fundamentally wrong with you, the idea of celebrating yourself feels foreign, even uncomfortable, like receiving a compliment you can't accept. This negative self-talk often manifests physically, like Mel's subconscious weird mirror face, a slight adjustment made automatically to fix perceived flaws. These are automatic thoughts, defaults programmed over time. But the good news, based on neuroplasticity, is that these defaults can be changed through deliberate action. Mel's daughter couldn't pinpoint when her negative self-image began. It felt like it was always there, tied to feeling bigger than her friends. This self-rejection is incredibly common, with studies showing a vast majority of women are unhappy with their bodies. Constantly focusing on what needs fixing is the opposite of a high five. There are crucial reasons to shift this pattern. First, focusing on what's wrong makes change feel like punishment and hinders progress. Diets often fail because they reinforce the feeling of inadequacy. Second, self-hatred doesn't motivate. It demotivates. True change comes from a place of self-love. I deserve to feel better, so I will take steps to care for myself. Third, the more you repeat a negative belief, the more your brain filters reality to find evidence for it, keeping you trapped. The battle isn't with your body or circumstances. It's with self-rejection. Change must start from love. The high five habit helps cultivate this loving kindness towards yourself. People like Nina, after just 5 days, found themselves grinning at their reflection instead of hiding. Kathy noted the habit forces a shift to a, quote, brighter, kinder, more compassionate and joyful way of seeing herself. You deserve celebration now, not when you reach some future goal. Self-love isn't conditional, and accepting yourself makes you more resilient. Self-criticism pounds you down. Self-acceptance builds you up. This capacity for self-love isn't something new you need to acquire. It's your birthright. As babies, we delight in our reflection, full of uninhibited self-appreciation. We are born unique, resilient, intelligent, and designed for joy and celebration. Think about learning to walk. Babies fall constantly, but keep trying, fueled by innate tenacity, not self-criticism. That resilience is still within you. A stranger's high five feels good because it taps into that core part of you that remembers how it feels to be celebrated. So what happened? Life happened. Somewhere along the way, through school, social pressures, difficult experiences, we receive messages, subtle or overt, that there's something wrong with us. Psychologists call this a break in belonging, feeling like an outsider, which then leads to a break in belonging with ourselves. Maybe it was moving frequently, being bullied, feeling different due to race, identity, or learning style, facing criticism about appearance, or experiencing instability or trauma at home. As children, we lack the context to process these experiences objectively. We internalize them, often blaming ourselves. It must be my fault. There must be something wrong with me. This pattern, unfortunately, is a flaw in human design. Even well-intentioned parents can send these messages. Mel shares a painful story of discouraging her son Oakley from keeping his blue-dyed hair for the first day at a new school, fearing he wouldn't fit in. Looking back, she realizes she was prioritizing fitting in over his self-expression, unintentionally conveying that his choices were wrong and that acceptance was conditional. This reinforces a huge societal lie. What others think matters more than what you think of yourself. We learn to withhold love from ourselves until we meet certain external or internalized external standards. The antidote isn't more self-criticism, it's appreciation. Instead of picking yourself apart in the mirror, consciously look for things to appreciate: your strength, your intuition, the body that carries you through life. You are here, resilient, learning, growing. That alone makes you worthy of celebration. As Jordan shared, self-love isn't about fixing. It's about falling in love with the parts of yourself you've been trying to fix. Seal that appreciation with a high five. This connects to our core emotional needs, to be seen, heard, and loved for who we are. When these aren't met, we feel invisible and unfulfilled. Often, childhood experiences leave these needs unmet, leading to feelings of disconnection later in life. We seek validation externally when what's truly missing is a connection to ourselves. The morning high five directly addresses these needs. You see yourself. You silently hear the encouragement, you can do it. You offer yourself love and validation. It symbolizes confidence, celebration, optimism, and action. To make this shift requires interrupting the negative thought patterns, often versions of, "I'm not enough." This thought acts like poison, killing your spirit. You need to catch it and replace it. Many people carry a core negative belief or theme song. For Mel's daughter, it was, "I'm a bad person," after friction with roommates. For Mel's husband, Chris, after his restaurant business failed, it became, "I am a failure," coloring his entire perception of himself for years. For Mel herself, for decades, it was, "I've messed everything up," leading to a spiral of regret and self-blame. These stories aren't just thoughts. They become identities, shaping how we see the world and ourselves. Mel shares her own painful past, hitting rock bottom with bankruptcy, a failing marriage, anxiety, and using alcohol to cope. She emphasizes that she used the very tools she now teaches to rebuild her life. Transformation isn't instant. It requires daily work, building self-esteem brick by brick. You can't change the past, but every morning offers a chance to choose who you will be today. The key is shifting focus from past regrets to future creation, learning from mistakes instead of being defined by them. During her lowest point in law school, hating her path and struggling with undiagnosed ADHD and dyslexia, Mel fell into a self-destructive cycle of anxiety, procrastination, drinking, and poor choices. Negative thoughts, "You mess everything up," fueled negative feelings and actions, creating a downward spiral. She ghosted an internship, panicked and bailed on a summer job, and sabotaged relationships. Shame compounded the problem. This cycle continued until hitting bottom led her to therapy, where she began understanding the role of childhood trauma and subconscious patterns. The crucial insight: hating yourself leads to doing things you hate. Loving yourself leads to doing things you love. You aren't broken, just blocked. The path forward involves forgiving yourself and silencing the inner bully. But how do you silence that negative chatter? It's like cleaning the lint filter in a dryer. Negative thoughts, opinions, rejections, guilt, they accumulate like mental lint, clogging your mind. This filter has a neurological basis, the reticular activating system, or RAS. The RAS is like a gatekeeper for your conscious mind, deciding which of the massive amounts of sensory information bombarding you actually gets your attention. It prioritizes things like your name, threats, potential mates, and crucially, whatever it thinks is important to you. This last point is key. What you repeatedly focus on, your RAS deems important. If your dominant thoughts are negative, "I'm a failure," your RAS will filter your reality to find evidence supporting that belief. Chris, believing he was a failure after his business closed, saw only failure even when he was being a dedicated stay-at-home dad, or later contributing significantly to Mel's business. His RAS highlighted things confirming his negative belief, like another dad on a work call, and filtered out contradictory evidence like his kids valuing the time with him, or his actual success as CFO. The empowering truth is, you can retrain your RAS. You can teach it what you want it to focus on: opportunities, solutions, evidence of your strengths. Think about buying a specific type of car, like a red Acura. Before you considered it, you rarely noticed them. Your RAS filtered them out. Once you start thinking about it, researching it, test driving it, suddenly you see red Acuras everywhere. Your RAS adjusted its filter based on what became important to you. The same happens when you fall in love after a breakup. Reminders of the ex fade, as your RAS prioritizes cues related to the new relationship. To retrain your RAS away from negativity, you must intentionally shift your focus. Start by flipping your limiting beliefs. Instead of "I screw everything up," try "I forgive myself for things I did trying to survive. Every day I'm becoming a better version of myself." Recognize your power. If you believe you have the power to consistently create negative outcomes, you also have the power to create positive ones. Focus on solutions. How can I fix this? Rather than blame. A playful way to practice retraining your RAS is the heart hunt. Deliberately look for naturally occurring heart shapes in your environment. A leaf, a rock, a pattern in your coffee. This simple game teaches your brain to actively scan for something specific and positive that it previously ignored. It proves you can change what your brain prioritizes and sees. If you find yourself skeptical or thinking it's stupid, that resistance itself is blocking your rewires. Approach it with an open mind. Assume each heart is a little sign meant just for you, a connection to something larger. This builds mental flexibility and optimism. Once you've practiced seeing the world differently with hearts, you can apply that skill to your negative beliefs. Mel offers a 3-step process.